breakfast a couple of hours later than I would typically eat, just because I didn't feel like eating this morning, but I must eat something because I'm feeling like I need something for my blood sugar level. So I've got my skillet going with some EVOO, and I'm going to be making some of my power greens. And so I'm gonna show you how I do that. So just a little bit of EVOO there, and I'm gonna set this camera down and show you guys what I'm adding to my meal. Okay, so I've got the olive oil in the skillet, and I'm gonna add a little bit of butter because butter just makes everything taste better. So I'm gonna cut a little bit of the butter. And so while that's melting, I'm gonna go over here. Okay, so I am melting the olive oil and the butter in the skillet. And so while that's melting, I'm gonna be chopping up a couple of vegetables that I put in. And this is what I do every morning just for optimal health. So I've got my power greens ready to throw in a minute. But for now, I'm gonna chop my veggies. So what I have I have 2 cloves of garlic. I'm gonna split these in half between my eggs and my vegetables. I have 2 mushrooms. I don't know what exactly they are, what kind they are. They might be shiitake mushrooms. I have a little bit of green bell pepper, a little yellow, and a little red. And then I have about, not half an onion, like maybe just a sliver of onion, because I don't like a whole lot of it. Okay, so I'm just gonna start chopping these up. Okay, so my olive oil and garlic are just about ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and start throwing in my greens. So I have kale, and I also have my power greens, okay? So I'm just gonna get, it's nothing fancy, I'm just gonna get a handful of kale. Okay, I'm not measuring anything. So I'm just getting a handful and throwing it in. I'm gonna get another little bit there. Okay, so because this is the Tuscan kale, and they're already washed, also they're kind of hard if you see the consistency or the texture of these. So I don't like a whole lot of this type of kale in my greens because they're a little bit tough. So I'm just gonna get a handful of these power greens also and throw that in to the pan. All right, so this should be good. Now, as you can see, I've already chopped up my vegetables, so I'm only gonna do half of each. So half of the mushrooms, half of the onions, and then half the bell pepper. And the reason I'm splitting these in half is because I'm gonna use half of them for my eggs, so my sauteed egg. A couple of videos back, I shared about my my new eating routine so that I can get healthy. So this is how I do it. Okay, and that would be half. That's about half. Okay, so again, organic Tuscan kale, power greens, which consists of baby chard, baby spinach, and baby kale. Okay, then I've got mushrooms, the peppers, the onions, and the garlic. Okay, now I'm gonna add my seasonings. All right, for seasonings, I've got black pepper. I've got pink salt crystals that we're going to just put in there. I'm gonna actually go ahead and do that now because it's about time to start seasoning. And then I've got some thyme. And so I just do a little bit because it doesn't have one of those tops that you can shake it, like a shaker top. So last time I poured too much into it and it was no good. So I don't want to do that. Also, I have basil. And so I like the taste of basil because it's sweet. It just brings a nice sweet kind of flavor. I did add some cilantro as well. So I'm going to show you like what it's looking like so far. So this is what we have so far. It's starting to kind of wilt up a little bit, at least the spinach is. And I just have it on like medium low right now. It's smelling really, really delicious. So I might pour a little bit more olive oil on this and let it kind of simmer. Let it cook a little bit longer. Okay, so I do believe this is ready. So we're gonna go ahead and plate this. And I'm gonna use the same skillet to make my egg. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put that on the plate. And that looks really delicious. So that's actually a full meal all on its own. As you can see, that's the greens. And now I'm gonna do the eggs. So basically just take the same olive oil and the butter, maybe add a little bit more. So I'm gonna add a little bit more butter. Butter makes everything better. And a little bit more olive oil. No particular brand, I'm just using this Signature Select brand, but whatever brand you like works. I'm just gonna spread that butter around a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to add my egg. So it's melting very quickly. So this is going to be the basis of like my main meal for the day almost, because I don't really eat anything heavier after this. Like this is a big meal for me. So here we have the greens plated. We're just waiting on this side of the plate for my eggs. So I've just poured in my eggs, and we're gonna have the same exact toppings that I had in the greens. So all of this will go on top of the egg shortly, as soon as the egg is ready. I think the egg is now ready for some seasoning and some of my toppings. So I just kind of wait until it's almost to the point where it's got a couple of bubbles going, like an omelet almost. So this is how I do what I call my fried egg. I'm not really sure that that's what other people call it, but anyway, it's kind of a sauteed egg. So I'm gonna take my salt, give it a few sprinkles. I'm going to take my time, and I'm going to put a little bit on that. I don't need much on the egg. I already have some on the greens. And then the basil. Okay. And the black pepper. Okay, now that I have it seasoned, I'm going to put the rest of these chopped toppings that I did when I split everything in half. The rest, all the other half of it, goes right on top of my eggs. So I'll show you what that looks like. And that is looking pretty delish. Okay. So it's getting to a point where I'm about ready to flip it. So I go ahead and cut my egg in the skillet in half and in fourths, because there's 4 in our family. So I go ahead and partition it here, so it's easier to flip with the spatula. So I'm gonna take my time and flip this when I'm not holding the camera. So here I have my 4 slices of fried egg with all of my veggies, and I'm going to probably eat 2 of these. So there's 2 total eggs that makes this, all of this. And I'm gonna eat half of it, meaning I'm gonna have 1 egg. And then these 2 will be for probably my husband and one of my daughters. My other daughter doesn't eat eggs every day. So I'm turning the burner off, and then I'm gonna just plate this. I'm just gonna plate it with my veggies. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna get some more of those veggies off in a minute, but this is my meal for this morning.